on the career The Undertaker has had, and leading into one of his matches with Shawn Michaels, I believe WWE Magazine profiled his entire career, and that led me to believe that one of his matches with Shawn Michaels could have potentially been his last. And, if there was one match that should have been The Undertaker's last match, it probably should have been last year at WrestleMania 27, The Undertaker vs. Triple H Part 1, an incredible no-holds-barred match. It deservingly ended up inside a Hell in a Cell, and either WrestleMania 27 or WrestleMania 28 should have been it for The Undertaker, but The Undertaker did get what he came to WrestleMania 28 to achieve. He did get vengeance despite being kicked in the face by Shawn Michaels, tried to be being taken down by D-Generation X. The Undertaker persevered and lasted nearly an hour with Triple H, and The Undertaker now is 3 for 3 against Triple H, a feud that began back at WrestleMania 17 in Houston. That was the first no-holds-barred WrestleMania match Triple H and The Undertaker had. It was a classic, and they didn't wrestle at WrestleMania for a number of years until 10 years after their first match, and The Undertaker won again by submission, and the year after, in the final match, the end of an era match where it all had to come to an end, unfortunately, The Undertaker goes 3 for 3. That leaves Triple H with not just no victory over The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but Triple H has yet to pin The Undertaker in a singles match at any wrestling show, not just WrestleMania. The Undertaker has never lost to Triple H in his career, which leads me to believe that Shawn Michaels, all in all, is a better in-ring performer than Triple H. Yes, Triple H has been pretty brutal, especially in the early 2000s, and he's one of the greatest wrestling superstars of the 21st century. But Shawn Michaels has outperformed Triple H in every big match situation. Michaels and Hunter have both defeated each other in championship matches and matches that weren't even for championships, especially in 2004, when they gave you one of the longest Hell in a Cell matches in history that lasted over 46 minutes. Michaels and Hunter do not have to have championship matches to leave you talking and take your breath away, and I believe at some point down the road we're going to see Triple H and Shawn Michaels have a feud again if Shawn Michaels doesn't come back to be at the side of Triple H when he's running the company. I think this is where Triple H's focus is lying now. It's more about, running the company and running it to the best of his ability. It's not about performing inside of the ring. By SummerSlam, I foresee Triple H and Brock Lesnar having a match. That will be the return of Triple H to the ring for the first time since WrestleMania. Triple H is really slowing it down. And he's one of the guys that WWE rely on for an event like WrestleMania to come in and give you a 5-star match. They fill WrestleMania up with mid-card matches, and they have 2 to 3 main events. The championship matches from each individual brand, and a match between The Undertaker and some formidable opponent. Over the last 4 years, it's been a toss-up between Shawn Michaels and Triple H. For the best years of WrestleMania coming from Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker and Triple H here recently. I think that Triple H is really slowing it down, and his focus lies now with, running the company to the best of his ability. He's not going to be a Vince McMahon, and I think he's enjoying his office position a bit too much to, just give it all away and go back to wrestling. There in 2011, he wrestled in a couple of matches with CM Punk, including singles matches and tag team matches. He slowed it down a little bit. By December, he was wrestling Kevin Nash in a sledgehammer ladder match at the 2011 TLC pay-per-view. We have yet to see Kevin Nash return since being taken out by Triple H, and it looks like his first appearance inside of the ring after WrestleMania is going to be against Brock Lesnar. Do I think Triple H is going to win against Brock Lesnar? I really don't know, but I'm going to say that Brock Lesnar will defeat Triple H because Brock Lesnar hasn't won a singles match and has been very limited to in-ring competition since his return. If Triple H and Lesnar fight by at least SummerSlam, I think that Triple H is going to lose, and some long-term storyline with Triple H's in-ring appearances being limited will be developed from this kind of thing. I can also see The Undertaker coming back and feuding with Brock Lesnar because there is a bit of animosity between Lesnar and The Undertaker. It's been documented over the last number of years. When Lesnar left for the UFC, The Undertaker did attend a couple of UFC shows with Brock Lesnar, and when he approached Brock Lesnar wasn't that friendly to him. So I can see WWE deriving some kind of storyline off of that, where The Undertaker comes back to dethrone Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar is high on his pedestal, potentially as the WWE Champion, and The Undertaker getting a bit of redemption for the bit of history they've had over the last 10 years. The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar produced remarkable matches, especially in 2003. The Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship when Lesnar was the champion against The Undertaker really puts what classic wrestling matches should be all about into perspective. And if you didn't get a chance to see that in '03, pull it up on YouTube. It is a wrestling classic that sees Brock Lesnar F5 The Undertaker in the middle of the ring, very similar to the Undertaker versus Kurt Angle match from 2006 again, for a major championship, the World Championship. Kurt Angle defeating The Undertaker by pinning his shoulders to the mat after an outstanding wrestling match. Here's the thing about The Undertaker. The Undertaker doesn't need to wrestle 360 days of a 365-day year anymore. Neither does The Rock, neither does Stone Cold Steve Austin, neither does Triple H or anybody of huge stature in the wrestling industry, because they did it for you in a decade that meant something. Now what they're there for, seemingly, is to put new talents over. Why do you think Triple H feuded with CM Punk in 2011? It was to put CM Punk over. A couple of months after wrestling with Triple H, CM Punk is the WWE Champion. He won the title in November of 2011. He has yet to be defeated. He's in his 6th month as the WWE Champion. He's one of the longest reigning WWE Champions in recent memory, holding the title over 6 months. And if anybody beats CM Punk, it's probably going to be Brock Lesnar to solidify himself as one of the greatest wrestlers in the industry, coming back to reclaim what was rightfully his. Could start with a feud with CM Punk. But that still remains to be seen. People like The Undertaker and Triple H are going to leave it up to the mid-card talents now to give you a 5-star show or a 5-star pay-per-view, and when they need to come in and give you a match at a show like WrestleMania, they're going to do it. I think the next time we're going to see Triple H inside of the ring, it's going to be at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar, a match that doesn't need to be for a major championship. It would be that much cooler if it was for a major championship. But when it comes to Triple H returning to the ring full time, I don't ever see it happening, and I can't really tell you when Triple H will return, or The Undertaker, rather, I can't really tell you when The Undertaker will return to the ring. I honestly don't think The Undertaker needs to return to the ring. He's not in a position to return to the ring right now, and as it stands right now, The Undertaker is being considered to be retired. And honestly, after over 20 years of contributions, can you really blame The Undertaker for making the decision to kind of slow it down? I mean, yeah, if he comes in and gives you a good match at WrestleMania every year and it's the match of the year, you have to give him respect where respect needs to be given. I mean, The Undertaker has done so much for legends. He's made so many people famous. He's put over so many young talents. His matches with John Cena, when Cena was nothing more than an upstart in 2002, 2003, were remarkable. Look at the star John Cena became after those matches. Look at the star that Batista became after his match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 23. I mean, The Undertaker has produced some of the biggest names in the industry and gives wrestlers credit where credit needs to be given. If you get a handshake from The Undertaker, a guy who knows so much about the industry over 20 years, then obviously you've accomplished a lot and you've made a statement. That's what John Cena did on his first night, getting a handshake from The Undertaker. A feud between Cena and The Undertaker was derived from that handshake after Cena became the Doctor of Thugonomics, and they had a remarkable match at Vengeance in 2003. That was the first solo SmackDown pay-per-view featuring entirely SmackDown superstars, and that pay-per-view was headlined by Cena and The Undertaker in a remarkable match where Cena tried everything to put The Undertaker out of his misery, but was unsuccessful in doing it. And I believe The Undertaker won with the last ride after Cena had a mishap happen in the match, and it led to The Undertaker getting a victory. But John Cena has never defeated The Undertaker. There are those wrestlers out there. Here's the thing. The Undertaker doesn't need to wrestle at a show, any other show other than WrestleMania, because there are those wrestlers out there like Cena who have never defeated The Undertaker in a singles match at a pay-per-view, but he has managed to defeat The Undertaker in a singles match on SmackDown. So, The Undertaker really doesn't need to wrestle against these people anymore. If he did, he would still be there. I mean, one of the feuds outside of WrestleMania, the last feud actually I can remember The Undertaker being in outside of WrestleMania would have been against Kane for the World Championship in 2010. And other than that, I think that was the final feud outside of something having to do anything with WrestleMania that The Undertaker has been involved in, and that was for the SmackDown brand. That was when Kane and The Undertaker were feuding over the World Championship. That was a remarkable way to put an end to The Undertaker's feuds outside of WrestleMania. Here's the thing. The Undertaker is going to go in the Hall of Fame as the guy being known for never losing at WrestleMania. If there's one thing The Undertaker is inducted into the hallowed halls of the Wrestling Hall of Fame for, it's going to be being known as the man who was never defeated at WrestleMania for over 20 plus years. That streak should remain intact with The Undertaker regardless of what happens to him from here to the end of his career and the end of his lifetime. That is something that you should never take away from The Undertaker. If Hulk Hogan can keep his win streak intact at SummerSlam, being known as the only wrestler in history to never